Have you noticed? The harder you try to control every little detail, timing, people's reactions, the outcome, the more broken and drained you wake up. You plan, calculate, push, refuse to let go. And life, as if on purpose, goes sideways. But what if I told you the answer is the exact opposite? That the moment you stop squeezing the sweat out of yourself, stop clinging, and simply start trusting, everything suddenly begins to flow easily and naturally? It's not about giving up. It's about finally understanding where your real power lies. Seneca, that old Roman wolf who survived exile, Nero's betrayal, and mortal danger, knew this better than anyone. He left us not comfort, but tools. And the main secret of calm he discovered is simple. Don't fight what's not in your power. Focus on what you can change. If you're constantly tense, feeling like everything is going wrong, there's a reason. You're holding on too tightly to things that aren't meant to be controlled. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of your stress is shadows in your head, not real threats. When you realize this, you stop being a slave to your fears. Here are 7 truths. No sugar, just the truth. First, detach from the outcome. You spend your life obsessed with results, waiting for a job offer, hoping a relationship will work out, worrying whether your efforts will pay off. You think if you just work a little harder, push a little more, you can force everything to go your way. But what happens in reality? The more you cling to a specific outcome, the more anxious you become. The process stops being fulfilling. Your happiness becomes hostage to something you can't control. Seneca taught, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happens as it should, and you will be happy." Focus on the process, on what you can control, your actions, discipline, mindset. Let everything else go. An artist obsessed with what others will think will never create a masterpiece. They enter the flow only when they stop caring about the outcome. The same applies to work, relationships, life. When you stop fixating on how things must turn out, you give yourself the freedom to enjoy the journey. Second, master your mindset. Life throws challenges. Some days, everything flows easily. Other days, it feels like the world is against you. The difference between those who crumble and those who thrive isn't luck. It's mindset. How you think is how you live. If you don't control your mind, it controls you. You don't control the economy, others' actions, unexpected obstacles. But you control your response. That's where real power lies. Seneca stated, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Every struggle, every failure is training. You either move and step with life, or it drags you along. The choice is yours. Mastering your mindset isn't a one-time action. It's daily practice. Watch your inner dialogue. Are you feeding yourself fear and doubt? Or training yourself to see opportunities and remain calm? Your mind is like a garden. What you plant is what grows. Plant seeds of fear, you get a jungle of anxiety. Plant seeds of strength, you get a fortress. Third, trust in time. Patience is the hardest thing, especially when you've put in the effort, done everything right, and see no results. The world tells you, success should be fast. If you don't see instant results, you're doing something wrong. That's a lie. Seneca said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Everything truly valuable, wisdom, strength, success, takes time. You can't force a tree to grow faster by pulling on its branches. We live in a culture of instant gratification. Fast food, fast information, fast success. But some things must take time. Relationships, personal growth, mastery. Seneca wrote, "Effort and patience will achieve more than force and anxiety." Desperate action is force without direction. Purposeful action is patient force that knows where it's going. How do you stay patient when nothing seems to happen? Focus on what's in your power. Keep showing up, keep working, keep growing. And trust. If something is meant for you, it will come. Not a second too early, not a second too late. Fourth, act with purpose, not desperation. Have you noticed? When you desperately chase something, it slips away. Work, relationships, success. The more frantic your energy, the more everything escapes your grasp. But when you act with purpose and calm confidence, everything starts to align. There's a gap between chasing and attracting. Seneca taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Desperate action comes from fear. Fear of missing out, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. Purposeful action comes from clarity and strength. Imagine two people looking for a job. The first panics and fires off resumes left and right. The second knows their strengths, prepares, and doesn't obsess over immediate results. Who gets hired? The one who's calm, confident, and strategic. How do you stop acting from desperation? Clarify your why. Slow down. Give yourself time to think. Trust yourself. You don't need to force everything into place. Fifth, let go of control. Do you feel exhausted from trying to control everything? You plan, push, strategize, and life still goes sideways. The harder you grip, the more slips away. The paradox: the moment you let go, life starts working in your favor. Seneca taught, freedom is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. True freedom isn't in controlling everything around you. It's in releasing the need to control. The more energy you spend trying to manage others' opinions, the future, the past, the more you drain yourself. Shift your focus to what you can control, your thoughts, actions, reactions. How do you let go of control? Recognize what is and isn't in your power. Wasting energy on the uncontrollable leads only to frustration. Practice acceptance. Life won't always go according to plan, but sometimes detours lead to better destinations. Sixth, embody the energy of abundance. Have you noticed how some people attract success with seemingly no effort? It's not luck. It's mindset. Those focused on what they lack always struggle. Those who see abundance attract it. Seneca wrote, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. True abundance isn't in accumulation. It's in realizing you already have everything you need for a fulfilled life. When you stop operating from a scarcity mindset, you make room for more to come naturally. You either live in scarcity or abundance. The choice is yours. How do you start embodying abundance? Begin with gratitude. Focus on what you already have. Act as if you already have enough. Release attachment. Trust. What's meant for you will come. Seventh, do what you must and let go. You're obsessed with a goal, pushing harder and harder, but you're running in circles. You're doing everything right, yet the results don't come. Frustrating, isn't it? We're taught success is never stopping, never letting go. But there's a difference between purposeful action and desperate action. Seneca said, effort and patience will achieve more than force and anxiety. A forceful approach creates resistance. Like a knot, the harder you pull, the tighter it gets. Imagine a farmer. He plants seeds, waters them, but he doesn't dig them up every day, demanding they grow faster. He trusts time. Life works the same way. You do your part, then trust that things will develop at their own pace. Seneca taught, do what you must, and let what happens happen. Focus on what's in your power, your efforts, discipline, mindset, but don't obsess over results. No matter how much you plan, there will always be things beyond your control. How do you practice this? Get clear on your goal. Take the necessary steps. Release the need to control when and how results appear. And trust your own resilience. Even if things don't go exactly as planned, you'll adapt, grow, and find new opportunities. In the end, life isn't about controlling every outcome. It's about mastering yourself. When you shift your focus from chasing to alignment, from forcing to flowing, everything starts to fall into place. Take a deep breath. Trust the process. And remember, real power comes from within. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away.